Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Making a Tower Defense Game with me. In this episode, we're going to be working on creating the deployable agents. So I'm going to have basically someone who's you can deploy a soldier, and he's gonna go fight around for you. But if you click on him, you can control him, and you can run around and use his weapons and stuff like that until you press escape to leave it, or if you die. So you can see it in the background running. This is gonna be the twist on my tower defense game, taking the close up and personal with the things that you're killing. So we're gonna be animating it. We're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff with it. This is gonna be a long episode, so strap in, grab your popcorn. Yeah, let's begin. All right. Okay, let's start. So first, we are gonna check out the model. This model I got from Miximo. It's a super simple model, just a SWAT soldier, whatever you want to call him. Policeman, SWAT. Yeah, yes. SWAT, good stuff. I just put him here, extracted the textures over here, and I got these animations from a Unity repository, which I'll make sure to include in the description. These animations are super simple. It's just straightforward. I really hate this one, but I need to find a replacement for it, but can't really do anything about it for now. And there is this one. They're all good. But this one, the problem with it is that the character starts moving outside of the center, so it creates rigid, like weird animations, but I couldn't find any other animations, so I'm just gonna use it for now. Yeah, so let's first do some changes. One change that we definitely need to do. First, let's unpack this. We need to change the system where the camera kind of select the turrets and stuff, which is in our main camera over here. This camera controller. This needs to change. Oops, the code's up here. Yeah, this needs to change because right now it's checking for turrets specifically, which we don't want. We want it to select anything. So one thing that we can do is we're gonna create, I think I've already have it here. Yeah, it's deleted, but that's fine. So let's create a new camera stats script, and this script will basically just hold the stats of the camera. So that way, whatever has this script, we know we can control. This way we don't have to control anything with a tag or something that makes it super specific. So in the camera stats, we're just gonna have two things: a public game object I'm gonna call camera, and then a public boolean, which we're gonna call is controlled by player, which by default is always false. Alright. So now we know whichever has this script can be controlled by the player, basically. So let's fix up the script. This component, actually, I realized I'm changing stuff from the game and not the prefab, so it's gonna cause issues. But yeah, so it should just look like this. And let's go to our prefabs. Oops, that's asset. Turrets, basic turret. Yeah, here. So in the prefab, just the camera itself, just drag it down to the camera game object. Do that with each one of your prefabs. And make sure you add the camera stats scripts to each one of them. I did that before the video starts. So, yep, then drag the camera. That's it. And you're gonna do this with anything that's gonna be deployable. Okay, now let's go back to the scene. Now there's some stuff that we need to change in the code. So now I have this camera stats script. In the camera controller itself, there is some stuff we need to change. So one thing we need to change is the selected here, and we're gonna rename it from selected turret to just selected. I'm gonna change it to a camera stats, right? And just change the spots. Okay, like that. Yep. Okay. Next, we are gonna need to change some stuff up here because this is all gonna cause errors. First of all, here we don't need this anymore, so we can do selected equals hit info dot collider get component of camera stats. There you go. And then if selected does not equal null, then we continue. This way we know that whatever we click has the camera stats, which means we can't control it, and because we can't control it, we can set some stuff here. So this is no longer needed, but here we just kind of delete all of this like that. Okay, now we access the selected script, get the camera, and then set it to true. Set it to active, sorry, and then control by player. This is what I want to name it, actually. Yeah, that's better. And do the same down here. Oops. That, and then like this, and then selected here will equal null. This would work, but we do have a few things that we need to modify. So first of all, I want to extract this and make it its own method, because we're going to be calling this from other scripts. It's going to go return to main camera. I'll show you why we're going to be calling it from other scripts, but for now let's just do this, and then we can move this thing to an if statement here. There you go. Okay, so the reason we're doing it this way is because let's say that we're controlling a camera right now, and then the turret dies, and if the turret dies, then we're no longer controlling that turret, but the camera disappears because it's no longer active. We're gonna get an error of, there's no active cameras, and that's gonna be a big issue. So this, we're gonna be calling a return to main camera in the turret or any other controller that we control when they do die, to just send us back to our camera. And that's all that we need to do here, I think. Yeah, I mean, just to make it more uniform, we can change this to map of infinity. Just to... yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so that's all we need to do in the camera controller. Now we do need to change the turret controller here. The turret camera is something we no longer need to use, and the controlled by is something we need to get from the camera stats now. So let's just delete them, and it will cause a bunch of issues, but it's fine. We're gonna just fix it now. So we can call camera stats. Oops. Camera stats. We can call it cam stats, which is and then in the start we can do cam stats equals get component camera stats. Oops. There you go. And then we can just do this. Let's see, it's not capitalized there. And then we just move all of the stuff. Sorry, we access all of the control by player from the camera stats rather than from doing it that way. So this is good, but again, same problem. If we do die, then it will set it to false, and then it's gonna cause an issue. Okay, so now here we need to just create a new death kind of method. So let's just create it, and it will set it to false. But before setting it to false, let's actually fetch the main camera controller and revert it, basically. Revert our if we are controlling the turret, then revert it. If not, then just leave it be. So let's do that real quick. So let's call it camera controller. Call it main camera controller, and equals game object that gets. I think the. If I'm not mistaken, oopsies. If I'm not mistaken, the main camera does have its own tag. Yeah, main camera. So we can just fetch it. So main camera dot. So game object dot get. Oh no, sorry. Find objects. Object. Object by tag. Objects. Find game objects with tag. Main camera. Let's get components. Camera. Controller. There you go. So this will search the whole game files to find the one object with the camera controller. Sorry, with the tag main camera, and we're only gonna have one tag of main camera, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we check if the main camera controller dot what was it called? Selected? Yeah. Equals what was it? What do you call it? Cam stats? Huh? Yeah, if it is the cam stats, so if we are currently selected, then we call main.cameraController.return to main panel. Yeah, that's perfect. So basically this checks if we die, then do we currently control the camera, and if we do currently control the camera, then just return it. So let's just test this change real quick. This has it. Yep. Okay. Already. It's not needed. I was testing with this, so don't worry about it. Okay. Now let's just check real quick if it works. So for controlling this camera, yeah, it works. We click it, does bring us in, and we can control it, as you can see. So, coming. They're coming. And then we die and it brings us out. See, it's no longer controlling it. But I noticed something else. Oh. Okay, never mind, it's working fine. But earlier it did shoot itself, I think. Okay, that's weird. Alright, so works fine now. The new camera controller system is so much better, just overall. So let's continue. Now let's actually start working on the new main thing, which is this guy. Does have a SWAT avatar, which, by the way, if you don't have, if you do get a model from anywhere, make sure that in the rig it is humanoid. If it's not humanoid, it won't have this, and it's gonna cause issues. So yeah, the first thing we're gonna do is right-click him. 3D objects right here, and then ragdoll, because we do want him to ragdoll if he dies, because that's very nice, very cute. And we feed it in its own controller, its own animator, and click autofill. You see it fills it up, and then click create, and you can see he has stuff. And I think if we just start, he'll just ragdoll, I think. Yeah, ragdoll, so much fun. Okay. So, so far so good. Now let's continue. Let's feed it animations now. But first of all, we do need to give it its own collider. Oops. Collider, just give it a capsule. And let's make him half the size, which is should be 0.9. Oops. Not what I want to do. Maybe it is what I want to do, but let's check. Let's click here. There we go. That's better. And radius, I think, 0.25. Kind of covers it. Really nice. One thing I noticed is that it always starts so far down. I don't know why it does that. So this oops. So annoying. Anyways, let me just really want to get it. Oh my god, that's like, oh, why am I being so weird? I could just bring him up. There you go. Come on. Where is it? Alright, I give up. Okay. Sorry about that, my cats were fighting. Anyways, let's continue. We can reduce the height to 2, and then I guess just make it go higher on the center. There you go, that's snug. 0.85, let's do. Perfect. Alright, and then we're gonna add a rigid body on it. And lastly, an agent, because it will be controlled by an AI, so we do need an agent. And let's just adjust the speed and stuff. Let's make him the same speed as the other ones. Angular speed, let's do like 720. Doesn't matter. Here we'll do 40. Stopping distance, let's do 5 because he's gonna be a ranged enemy. So we need him to stop kind of far from them. These values are gonna modify later, anyways. Okay. Next, let's give him his script, which let's call it like ranged deployable. It's a mouthful, but it works. And since he is a controllable enemy or like an entity in our game, we do have to give him our stats script. And then lastly, we do give him the camera stats because we're gonna control him. Before we start coding, let's give him a new Cinemachine targeted camera, reload camera. So it doesn't matter what you call it. We're gonna have it following him here, but if you click here, we can use a separate lookout. Because right now it's looking down here, and it's also kind of moving with the character, and it's going to be jittery and stuff, which is going to make it very nauseating. So one thing you can do is just create a new empty object, move it all the way up to about his neck area, and then we can just call it camera lookout, and feed it to the camera's lookout, like that. And oopsies, this has to be inside the car. Okay, there we go. This way, it focuses on his neck, which is good, and don't forget to disable this camera. So yeah, let's see if it works. Now if we click here, he should ragdoll and fall, but fine. If we click him, just ragdolling through the thing. 1 second. Okay, what's happening? Okay, I promise it's gonna work. It's just being extremely weird right now. Okay, it's fine. Let's just get the coding first, and then we can see it in action. So let's open up this new script. Oh, I didn't feed it the camera. Oopsies! Don't forget to feed it the camera there. And then now let's see if it. We click it, does it work? Yeah, see, and we can look around as well. Just how it's following them. Yep. So this is the main thing, that like, oh, you can look around now, look up and down, and it feels like a 3D controller. Also, I forgot to mention, all of these will be third person, because that's how I want my selected things to be. So you can see I can look up, down, left, right. It works perfect. But now let's actually give him some logic. So open up the script. Here we are. Let's just remove everything for now. One thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna be copying a lot of stuff from the other scripts. So one thing that we do wanna take, all of this logic here for the agents, the enemy locomotion, we can kind of reuse, and the logic here for the rigid bodies we can also reuse. So we can just copy this, put it here, and then copy this, also put it here. And then let's just keep taking the stuff that we do need. The death, this is something we do need. Under here. Explosion force we don't need. Check target as valid we don't need. Okay, so for now that's enough. Let's just copy all of this and we're gonna delete the stuff we don't use. Oh, by the way, I'm copying everything from the enemy controller. So, locomotion, we're not gonna have. Stats we do need. Is alive we do need. And nav mesh agent, animator, plus we do need. This one we don't use. Okay, good. Now he's not gonna instantly ragdoll, which is what we want. Also, I forgot to set him to his kinematic. Needs to be schematic. And then okay. Agent we need this one. This one actually we don't need. We don't use it. Yeah, we don't need this. Although explosions are nice. Okay, well, for now we don't need it. So we don't use it, but we will be adding it later. Don't need this. Don't need this. And these we don't need yet. Yeah, we don't need it because we're not gonna be making him attack anything yet. That will be in the next episode. Okay, so that's all we need to copy from here. Now the enemy locomotion, we do need to copy a bunch of stuff from here. So point to travel to and check timer, we need these. And turn speed, actually let's just copy everything. And remove the stuff that's duplicated. There we go. And we don't need an enemy controller. There we go. That's good. Range buffer. Yeah, we don't need this. Okay. So now let's actually we might need it. Let's keep it. Now face target we do need. So let's go back here. Let's put it above the face target. And then we don't need this, but update point to travel to, this we do need, and the pathing logic we do need. There we go. Okay, all looks good. Okay, so this is so far so good. So now if we just with just what we have, if we just create a new update method and just call it, actually let's actually make sure that if he isn't alive, then return. And then if his my stats.health is less than or equal to 0, then we want him to have his death and this one. I think that's it for now, but we do need to check the other stuff. So actually let's create a new function here. Let's call it control because we will be using 2 different controllers. So this will be kind of a way for us to check which one do we use. And for now we're just gonna be doing control by AI. So AI, we will be changing this, but I just want to demonstrate what's happening. So let's create a control by AI. I know it's technically not AI, but okay. So in the control by AI, we can just check if the target is null or target is not active in hierarchy. and we return. Okay. And then we can copy the logic here from the enemy locomotion, which is just this. There we go. Yeah. And then we can remove the stuff we don't use, which is this and this. And we're not going to be using this yet, but we will be doing it. So now this is all that we need to see to actually see it working. So let's have a look if he is working. Okay, no errors, that's good. It will need a target. It will fetch my stats on its own. So for the target, let's just give it a what should we give it? Where are they? Characters, enemies, basic enemy. Here, let's give him a basic enemy. SWAT, we'll give him the basic enemy as a target. Okay. Now he should just start going towards him. There we go. Starts going towards him. And then when he's close enough into the distance, you just see that he should be looking at him, or isn't he? Oh. Oh no, it's fine. If distance is target is different. It should work, but I think it's because I'm moving him manually. So if I just move this guy, see, he is facing him, so it is working. Okay. Yeah. He does look very weird though running. So actually we can also check that if we do spawn him, and then we click on him, you can see that we can kind of control him. Not control him, at least we can have our camera on him. Okay. So far it's going well, but now let's actually take control from him. So here we can just check real quick. We do have the thing tonight. Okay, so we can check if the cam stats. No. Do I have a cam stats? I should. I didn't call it. Oopsies. So it doesn't need to be public. Actually, and then here we can just fetch it. There we go. Cam stats is no, it's called controlled by player. If he is controlled by player, then we don't do that, but else. There we go. Then we can say control by player. Okay, and then we can make a new void here. Call it control by player. Okay. Now this is where the fun starts to happen. First of all, let's actually create the animation here before we actually do the control by player and stuff like that. Earlier we did delete the thing, this thing. Let's bring it back. So let's do it like here, doesn't matter where. So now let's actually go and deal with the animations stuff before we continue. So go back to over here. Okay. So in the basic, no, in the smart, there's the animation controller, which he doesn't have yet. So we can go to the over here in animations and just create a new animation controller, which we're going to be calling basic range deployable. Yeah, I know my naming is amazing. Yep, and let's open it. Boy, I hate animations. Okay, anyways, let's create a new blend tree. And let's call it control by, let's call it AI locomotion. And then in here, we can just give it 3 fields. And then instead of blend here, we can call it speed. Is it capital S? Stick with it, capital S. Speed. And let's not automate the threshold. We want the maximum to be the current speed of the spot guy. So it's going to be maximum speed is 8. So let's do that. So let's do 8, and then here we could probably do like 4 and then 0. And then for the 0, we can give him the idle animation, which is doing nothing. And then we have walk forward. When it reaches this, we can give him 3 actually. And then sprint forward. Okay. These animations again I took from the Unity repository. So now we can see that he starts walking and starts sprinting, which is good. And it's controlled by speed. Yep. Okay. Now actually should work if we just yeah, I did give him the thing. Gotta see. See? There we go. Now he looks so much better. He stops down and he's idle. Perfect. Already looks amazing. But we do have a few things we need to change. Okay. Now, actually, let's set a different blend tree here. Let's just create a new blend tree. There you go. And this blend tree will actually be a 2D freeform directional, because we're gonna be controlling kind of X and Y, so it needs to be 2D. And then here we can add motion fields, and as soon as we add the second one, we can see it here. We're gonna need a total of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. Okay, so these 9 will be controlling. The first one is idle, doing nothing. Then front left, front right, back left, back right, right and left. So it's a bunch of stuff, but in total it should be 9 animations. Which I'm going to show you. It sounds way more complicated, but than it actually is, so don't worry about it. So one thing that we do need to do, just give me a second, I just forgot how I set it up. Right. Okay, so let's just set it up real quick to look better. So it should be 1 1, 1 0, 1 negative 1, 0 1, 0 0, negative 1 1. Okay, 0 negative 1, 1 negative 1 1. And negative 1 0 and negative 1 negative 1. Okay, I know I said a lot of numbers, but it will make sense. So look, here is basically the okay, sorry. Let's just create 2 new floats. We'll call them input X and input Y. And we're going to be feeding them here. So input X and input Y. Right. So now you can see that this will be kind of like front left, this will be forward, front right. Kind of makes sense here. When I feed in the animations, you'll see exactly how it looks like. So let's do that. So in the middle will be the idle, so doing nothing. Okay. So as you can see, it's just vibing, doing nothing. But all of the other ones don't have animations right now, so let's just give them. Rapid strafe forward, I think this is it. Okay. And then rapid strafe. Oops, the right one should be above it. The rapid strafe. Run forward, there you go. And then the right, and then there's the run backwards, which is, we're gonna just set it to 1, I think. the animations are, the names are so tiny. So straight forward, right, run backwards, oopsies. Rapid, straight, run, oops. I am messing this up, sorry guys. Yeah, run backwards. Okay, so it should be run forward, straight right, and then, oops, this is the one that should be run forward, sorry. Backwards, and then this one's run forward. I'm so sorry, so... Ay. So, there's one of them here, where is it? One day I'll get it. Okay, there you go. That's how it's supposed to look. So now if you play it, you can see that when you do this, he'll be running. Now he's supposed to be running. Yeah, it makes sense. So this is wrong though, this is supposed to be right. But for now it's okay, let's just continue. Okay, so rapid straight forward is next. So these names are horrible. Forwards. Right, so basically go from the, like backwards now. So run forward, should be next. Nice one backwards. There we go, run forwards. Rapid straight right. That's the next one. Use this one. Okay. And last one is rapid straight. Run backwards. There we go. No. So it's run forwards. Straight forwards, we're going to be replacing it. Like that, sorry. And this one should be the backwards. I'm so sorry, it's been a while since I did this one, so I'm just collecting my thoughts, I guess. There we go. This is correct. So it's run forwards, rapid straight right, run right backwards, and then sprint forward, straight idle, sprint forward, and it goes back. So the reason we do it this way is because we're going to do these same animations, but instead of doing the exact same thing, we're just going to invert them. So just do -1s here. So instead of running forwards, the animation will start from right to left, so it's going to be looking like he runs backwards. So now look, if we go forwards, let's play. He's running forwards, and like this he's running forward and right, like this is running to the right, this is to the right and back, this is supposed to be backwards. Oh yeah, it is, okay. And like this, so basically it's gonna look good. Forward, left, right, okay. This is done. Sorry it took me a minute to just get my thoughts, but yeah. And just create a new bool here, and let's call it isPlayer. So when the player is connected to this, it's gonna go to the new blend tree, and then we can create a transition here with no exit time, with the condition that isPlayer is true, and then a blend, and then transition back with the with the condition that isPlayer is false and no exit times. So that's it. This is all we really need to do here, and the rest we can control with the code. Alright, let's keep going. So control by player here. Okay, now we need to get the input, right? First of all, just click on edit on the top left, go to your project settings, make sure you're on the player tab, and if you scroll all the way down to about here, active input handling, make sure it's selected to both, because right now I'm going to be using the old system just because I don't know how the new system works and I still haven't learned it. So just make sure it's on both so you can use both of them. So let's start by coding now. So let's get the float x, and which will be the input, get axes of horizontal, and same thing with y, but it will be vertical. Okay, and then we can just get the animations and set them. So animator dot set float, and we're gonna be its input x, and we're gonna be setting it to be x. And same thing with input y. I'm going to be setting it to be y. Oops, y small. There you go. And one more thing. We need to set is player. So okay, so we can just easily do this. Control by player, animator equals sorry, set bool. Oops. Is player. Let's set it to true. For now, just that. Okay, now let's test it. So if you click play, click on and click on him. You can see when we hold W, he moves forward, left, right, back, back and left, back, right. Yeah, so it does work, but we need a bunch of work before it starts looking better. Okay. So one thing here is we need to disable apply root motion, just because we've been controlling it in the code. And yeah, let's get back to the coding. Now we're not going to go back to testing for a while. One thing that we need to do here in the control, we need to create some checks. So first of all, we're going to create a new bool, call it isPlayer, which is going to be the cam stats. Basically make sure that our camera stats is available, and then cam stats dot control by player. So it just gets the control by player, and then we check if the animator does exist. Then we're gonna set this to isPlayer. So this way we can flip between them depending on if we are controlling it or not. And then we actually let's create a few things here. So there's a bunch of stuff we need to control now. So first of all, we're going to create a boolean. I'm going to call it previous is player, just to basically control the kind of the switch of on and off. Actually, we don't need to set it to anything. And then create a new vector 2, which we're going to be calling smooth. Oopsies. Smooth input, which is basically gonna, which is the input that we're actually gonna be using, and then we're gonna be create a targeted input, which is gonna be the axis after the dead zone that we're gonna be creating. So target input, we go. And now let's actually create the tuning stuff. So let's just create a new header actually first of all, and call it tuning. Okay. There's a bunch of floats that we're gonna be using just to kind of get the desired results. And one of them is the turn speed. So we need to know how fast we're turning, which I think we already have here. Let's just, yeah. And then we're gonna be having, I think, 4 more things. So one of them is gonna be the input acceleration, which we're gonna set something like 18. I find to be good. And then input, oops, deceleration. There you go. Okay. And then input, oops, that's input deadening. And then a range buffer, which we do have up here, but and the input deadening will be like 0.08, and the range buffer sent it back to 7.5. That's how it was earlier. Okay. Now we're done with the setting variables. Let's actually start coding. In the controller, we can now check here if the player does not equal the previous player. So basically that means we changed who the player is. And if that's the case, let's do some logic. So first we check if the agent is active. And if it is, then we reset the path. It's not active, sorry, if it does exist. And then we set the velocity to 0. So basically, this is just stuff to stop the agent from, controlling anything else. Let's stop this false. And then agent.update rotation equal to is if it's not player. So when it is player, we don't want it to update. When it's not, then we do want it to update. So we want it to rotate on its own when we're not controlling it, and when we are controlling it, we don't want it to rotate. So, and then here we're going to be setting the float speed, which we're not going to be using here anymore. So, oops, actually we are going to be using it here. What am I talking about? But we are going to be setting it here to 0, just so the animation stops. And then we're going to be doing input X and input Y as well, setting them to 0, basically resetting everything. And point to travel to transform the position. I'm going to setting the check timer to 0 as well. Just reset completely everything. And smooth input will be equal to vector 2.0. And same thing with target input. Oops. Okay. And then we do previous is player equals to is player, so it doesn't run again. Yeah, this just resets everything for us before we send it back to the thing. So the only thing it checks here if it's not the same like it's like the previous player. So if we change players, basically, so not change players, change control. So if I'm controlling it now, or if I'm not, I'm letting the AI control it. This checks it, and upon that change, it just runs this once to reset everything for us. Okay. Now let's actually do the control by player stuff. So this is good so far, but we actually need some logic before this. So the target input, we're going to be setting it to the X and Y, which is where we want it to go. And then we're going to create an acceleration here, which will basically just check if the targeted input dot magnitude is more than the smooth input dot magnitude, and if it is, then we input accelerate, otherwise we input decelerate. There you go. This just checks if we're accelerating or decelerating basically. And then smooth input equals vector 2. The reason we're doing smooth input is because if you can remember us when we coded, when we were testing the agent, he was very jittery when we move left to right. So this will basically just smooth it out, the acceleration and deceleration. Makes it so much better. So vector 2 move towards, which is kind of like the lerp and slurp from the other ones. Smooth input, targeted input with acceleration times time dot delta time. Okay. And then we feed the animator the over here. We feed it actually the smooth input dot x. It's 0.008, which is the damp time, and then delta time for process time to delta time. There you go. Then we do the same thing with the y, and that's it. And it should work fine now, but we do have the kind of magnitude of where we're gonna head, right? But we don't have direction. So right now we have speed, but we don't have the direction. So we need to know where are we going. And for every third-person controller, most of the time when you control it, it's relative to the camera. So let's do the camera relativity stuff. So just create a new vector 3, call it cam f, which is forward, and camera dot main. Check if it's vector 3 dot project on plane. Oops. Camera dot main dot transform dot, oops, that's not transform, but forward vector 3 dot up, normalized, otherwise it's just the transform dot forward. So basically this checks if it's this, otherwise it's this, basically. Does that make sense? So this is a fallback for us. And then we're gonna check for the camera right as well, and that will get us the direction of where we need to head. So the camera main, vector 3, project on main, project on plane, sorry, and then here we just change it to right, vector 3 dot up, otherwise it's the transform right. Exactly the same stuff. And then we create a new desired vector 3, which is where we want to head. Desired, which is going to be equal to the camera f multiplied by the smooth input y plus the camera right multiplied by smooth input x. There you go. So this way we just get the forward and the right, and then we kind of know where to head. The reason we're only doing forward and right, because if right is negative then it's left, and if it's forward is negative then it's back. And so we only need 2 really. So here if the desired dot square of magnitude is greater than 1, then we normalize it. Like that. And then we just do agent move, but that's how we're going to be moving the target, which is using moving our player kind of thing that we're going to be the deployable enemy. Not enemy, sorry, deployable character. We're going to be moving it using agent or move rather than using a traditional controller. This is a hack, and it's like it works, although most people wouldn't recommend doing this, but it works perfect and it's super smooth. So sue me. So multiplied by agent, so we're gonna go towards the desired, but we're gonna be moving with the speed and time dot delta time, just like that. So it's perfect now, but we just need to do a quick check here. This is fine. These are fine. Yeah, I guess the only thing we can do is just set this here so that the animation doesn't kind of bug. So instead of this, we can just do 0, 0, and time it that time. That way the inputs stay 0 always. It doesn't matter really because we're not gonna, it's gonna be flipping anyways. But yeah, it does actually doesn't matter as well. Okay. Now it should work amazing. Let's try it. Okay. Click on our little guy, and now you can see we are controlling him. So left, forwards kind of running weird, but backwards, forwards, and left. That's just left, forward, right, backwards looks very bizarre, but it works, right? And backwards left, and backwards right. So yeah, it works perfect, but now you can see that the character is just running, but he's not looking where we're looking. So we want to change that. We want him to look at where the camera is looking. So we're going to be creating a new method. It's going to be super simple. It's just face the camera basically. And for any camera work, I prefer doing it in late update. So let's do a late update. And if the cam stats dot is controlled by player. Actually, it's also cam stats here in case cam stats is null. And then we're gonna create a new method. We're gonna call it face camera yaw, and that's all we really need to do. So we need to make it face the yaw. Face camera yaw. All of this, by the way, the camera movement and the movement of the character, I got heavy inspiration from the Kiwi coder, which I'm gonna include in the link, the description as well. Huge shout out to him. He can actually got me to work on this stuff in the first place. So if the camera main, then we return. If it's not the main, then we return. And then float. Oops. This will never actually be the case, but just it's good to be safe. We're gonna get the yaw, which is the camera dot main dot transform patient Euler angles y, yeah, and then quaternion target rotation, which is gonna be the quaternion dot Euler 0 and then 0. Tag. And then we just set the rotation of our transform to be a slurp, so it looks smooth. Quaternion dot slurp, and it will be transformed from our rotation to the target rotation. Now we're gonna give it as well. So turn speed multiplied by time dot delta time. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, one thing as well, in the death, I completely forgot about this. but since this is a character we do control, in the death, we just need to check here if basically the script that we have over here in the source controller, and this bit. So if he dies, we just stop controlling him. Things like that. And it gets destroyed after 120 seconds. This is perfect. Yeah, now it should be working perfectly. Let's get the basic enemy that we set up here to go all the way to the right. Okay. So, and then we feed it the SWAT as a target. Those targets right there. Okay, so he's gonna start heading towards us to attack us, and so we can die and we can show you how it dies. And then in the game we're gonna be going over there to see it. Actually, let's get this camera to move a bit like this so we can see it over here. Okay, so we can play. You're gonna see he's gonna start running towards him. I click him, he's looking at the camera, and you can see it's moving perfectly, but you can see the camera is a bit delayed. We're gonna fix that in a bit. But yeah, so this guy is running after us. That's bugged. We're gonna be fixing that in the next episode. Oh, and we died. But when we did die, you can see that he ragdolled. He just flopped. Exactly what you want. This is bug behavior, but don't worry, we're gonna be fixing that. So yeah, looks perfect. The only thing that we need to change is in the free look camera. You see this position damping here. Just set it out to 0. And it should be smoother now. Like more whoops. Is it correct or is it here? I think it's this one. Huh. Okay, well, let's just test that then. Let's see which one works better. Yeah, it's this one. So now you can see it's so much smoother. There we go. Up, down. Now you can see it's moving perfect. We can run away from this guy, but he will still get us because the code is bugged. Oh, he's dead. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And when you press escape, it goes back up. Okay. And as you saw earlier, when I did die, he what's the word? He swapped back to the main camera. But yeah, so it works perfect. And I think we do take damage from the explosions. So let's just stand here. Oops, explosions over here now. Oh, we don't, because we're not tagged as enemy. Oh, okay, let's just do it. Oh. This, it's enemy. Come on, kill me. That's not gonna. I think there's a bunch of other stuff missing. As you can see, we actually can interact with them too. If we walk through them, it pushes them, which is perfect for our use case. Anyways, this episode is long enough without me blabbering. The rest of the stuff, next episode, we're gonna make him shoot, make him move around on his. He does move around on his own now. You can see, like, when you go out, it starts going for the target. But yeah, next episode we're gonna make him work smoother. Start shooting the enemies, fix the enemy bugs, stuff like that. But it's already long enough as it is. But yeah, this is good. Catch you guys in the next one, and I'm sorry for the long episodes, but what can I do? This is coding. If you guys have any more questions, any suggestions, please drop them in the comment or join us in Discord, where I'll be available almost 24/7. And thanks for watching. See ya.